Okay, I gotta try to do this in less than 10 minutes. I'm going to expand on something that I brought up in a previous video. I'm going to talk in broad terms just so I can make it easily understood. I'm talking about a fruit fast. I'm talking about the fever thing again. But you might find this helpful because you can do this just about anything as far as your body. First, let's just, if I were going to eat a T-bone steak, big piece of meat, a lot of protein, fat, I get a lot of energy out of that. But it's very costly as far as the energy it takes to digest a T-bone steak or a cheeseburger. Okay, it takes a lot. It takes all day. You might have that meat in you for several days before you have it all processed out, and your body's working on it the entire time. Think of the last time you had a big turkey dinner on Thanksgiving Day, and everyone kind of passes out, and it just, you know, your body has to go to work on just breaking down that meal. Protein is like if you were going to take if you saw an old house down the street, you say, you know, we're going to demo that house, but there's a lot of good beams, there's a lot of good plumbing, there's good parts we could take out of that house. We need to harvest those resources out of that old home. So to do it, you have to tear the house down. You have to take this thing apart to harvest the resources. Protein works the same way. We take protein in, we have to tear it down to get the resources from it. Okay, that takes energy. It's not a bad thing, but that's how we have to do that. So there's a lot of digestion going on, and this is not about being a vegan or anything like that. It's just explaining something. If I'm going to eat that big T-bone or a cheeseburger, there's a lot of digestion going on. My body's going to spend a great deal of time in digestion in a 24-hour period to deal with that meal. Even though I've got energy, I get energy out of it. I can, you know, go on the rest of my day with energy. But it's costly. If I were to eat fruit, fruit is the easiest to digest. Here comes the mob again. Fruit is very easy to digest. It's simple sugar. It's easier than salads or green leafy vegetables, this kind of thing, because those have cellulose that, once again, has to be broken down before we can take advantage of the resources, before we can harvest it in our digestion system. We have to break it down. Eat a big salad, takes a long time to break that thing down. That's why most people, it's beneficial to juice your vegetables. Yeah, keep going. So I could eat a steak and have a lot of digestion going on, or I can eat fruit and have very little digestion going on. Difference being, if I eat that steak, I could probably go all day without eating again. If I eat the fruit, I'll have to eat every couple hours with fruit to maintain my energy level because it's just so fast. Okay, a lot of energy, but it's quick. Simple sugars. So one food is going to spend, I'm going to spend a lot of time in digestion. Okay. The other food, the fruit, I'm not going to spend very much energy on digestion. Okay. So I got this problem, I got this ailment, and I want to detox it out. So I chose to do a fruit fast. I ate nothing but fruit for 3 days. And just water, which is easy. I drink water, and I don't drink coffee or sodas or anything. Just water, that's all I ever drink. So that part was easy. But I'm drinking water, staying hydrated, and eating nothing but fruit. The first day, real easy. Second day, real easy. That night of the second day, I develop a fever, which I was anticipating because this is what's supposed to happen. I get a fever. It lasts from about 8:30 till about 11 o'clock at night. Next day I get up, continue with the fruit, and I think that night of the next, and I start eating cooked food again. It's just a 3-day gig. You're thinking, it took me a while to figure this out. Why did I get a fever? Why did I develop a fever on the second day on fruit? Because you're thinking, well, does fruit give you a fever? Does fruit make you sick? How does, I'm thinking backwards. Why am I getting a fever on fruit? They talk about this, but I never understood that. Why am I getting a fever from eating just fruit? Then they'll tell you, some people will be in a fever mode for several days, depending on how bad a shape you're in and what you're fighting. And they'll say, okay, do the fruit fast. When you develop your fever, you might go several days. At some point you say, okay, that's enough of the fever. Then they'll tell them, eat cooked food, and the fever will go away. And once again, what is so healing about cooked food that it stops this fever? How does this cooked food heal my fever? How does nice, delicious fruit cause me to get a fever? Because once again, I'm thinking fever's not your friend. When I'm eating nothing but fruit, my body spends little time in digestion. And when your body is not digesting, it goes into the other phase, which is what? Healing, recovery, and growth. Part of healing is your body looks around and says, we got some cholesterol issues. We've got some dead cell issues. We're not moving. Maybe the lymphatic system isn't quite moving. Hey, we got an invader. I got some infection going on over here. Let's kick up the temperature. Let's bring on the fever. The immune system goes to work. By being in a non-digestion mode long enough, my body realized, we got something we need to fix, some sort of infection going on, and the immune system kicks in, develops fever. That part I understood. When it happened, I finally got it. Oh, that's how this goes. I'm shutting down digestion, still feeding myself, but limited digestion. The immune system has a chance to express itself and go to work. Okay? But why now? Let's say I had that fever for a couple days. I say, okay, this fever's long enough. I'm going to start eating cooked food again, because they say the cooked food will stop the fever. And it does. You eat a meal of, let's say, rice and something, and the fever goes away. Well, what's the healing property of this cooked food that stops that fever? Well, once again, we have to remember that's the mindset that the fever is a bad thing. The fever's not a bad thing. So I have to think of, instead of a fever's a bad thing and the food saved me, I have to think of, no, the fever's a good thing and the food stopped it. Why did eating the cooked food stop my healing fever? Because my body no longer had the time to be in healing mode, because now I had to go to digestion mode. So it turned off the healing, it reduced or shut down the immune system, cleaning house, healing, recovery, and growth, to go digest the meal I'm eating. Fruit only turned on my immune system. I know it did, because I had a fever. Cooked food turned off my immune system, or the response of my immune system, because it was now drawing me back to digestion mode. Hopefully I'm making sense. And what I'll do is I'll eat cooked food. It's been cold and rainy, so I'll be eating cooked food until this is over. Once the sun comes back out and it's 75 degrees, I can do fruit all day. I'll go back and I'll do a fruit fast again. See if I go for 4 days, whatever. Then I'll do cooked food. Then I'll do another fast. And so it's cleaning house. What I'm doing is I am manipulating my immune system by altering what I eat. Okay? I'm not standing in my way. I'm not getting a fever going, oh my God, I need some Motrin. The fevers that when I get, imagine, let's say you're eating cooked food all the time and you're getting a fever. You're in really bad shape, because even though you're in digestion mode, your body's got to create this fever, because it's got, we can't keep up with the digestion thing. You got to get a fever going. Dude, you got an invader going on here. We got to stop this thing. And that's why typically people get a flu. What do they lose? Their appetite. Because the body says, we need to stop eating, get out of digestion mode. We got to fight, we got to battle here. See? The fruit fast enabled me to manipulate and turn on my immune system. Then I used the cooked food to shut it down. Because some people, if you eat fruit for a couple of days, you might lose too much weight or freak out or whatever. And I'll do that, and then I'll just do it again. But I think you can see how I am manipulating my immune system. And I've read and watched videos about this stuff for a long time, but never understood the Why is fruit giving me the fever? Why does cooked food turn it off? And it just does the last time it dawned on me. Now this may not be something you want to pursue or whatever, but you might just chew on that for a bit. And it's from personal experience, not something it's something I read about and did, and that was my experience. I actually made it happen. So it's I've got some, and it depends on how. There's people that extend these fasts for quite a long time. That Dr. Morris, that's this whole plan of how he heals certain diseases and all that kind of stuff. They'll knock this thing out 10, 20, 30 days. And just start do all kinds of stuff. And the body will rebuild itself. The immune system comes on, takes over, does its thing. It's not easy. It's not necessarily not pain. It can be very painful. But there are people out there doing that now. And it doesn't require anything in a pill form or some guy with a medical degree or this kind of thing or whatever. But it might be something you kick around and think about. And there's a lot of fruit fasts out there. And they'll say, well, just to make it easier, you do this protein shake. Totally retarded. That's not what you. It's just fruit, but at some point it does get painful, or maybe get the fever. And they say, well, then eat something and that'll go away. Because a lot of people use a fruit fast just to clean out their gut, just to get their intestine. It's just like an intestinal flush kind of thing or whatever. You've been eating too much meat or whatever. Missing the boat. That's what I did before. I ate a lot of fruit, but still I was eating some cooked food. Well, I did this many times 2 years ago. Never once got the fever. Eat tons of fruit, no fever. Because I was eating a cooked thing at some point during the day, body had to go back to digestion mode, turns off the fever. You're doing this to get the fever. You're doing this to get the immune response. Turn this thing on. You got something in your system, you need to turn your system on to fix it. That's what the fruit allows me to do. And then we turn it off with cooked food, wait a few days, do it again. Hopefully I made sense. If not, I'll just do it again. Love you, God bless.